Yo, what's happening, people, and welcome back to the Tiki Taka podcast, where you're going to hear hot takes, unbiased opinions, and hopefully have a couple laughs along the way.
Yes.
And we've got a different episode this week, as you can tell by the title if you've clicked on it. And we did the top 10 worst Man United transfers, and you guys seem to enjoy the ep. So, in the interest of fairness, and obviously in the intro, we say unbiased opinions, we are doing the top 10 worst Arsenal transfers. And this episode has been in the making for a while. We were just waiting for a good time to record it. And for anyone that's interested in our top 10, I did only ask Arsenal fans for this one to get a truer reflection and ask the people who have really been affected
by these transfers.
Have an emotional thing with these transfers. So without further ado, we'll get straight into it. Just a couple of the top 10 facts. Top 10 is worth just over 130 million. So it's actually not that much.
Yeah.
And more than half of that comes from one player. Obviously, if you know, you know. 7 Arsene Wenger signings, as to be expected most of the time.
Long-standing career.
Yeah. We did this Emirates era only, by the way. So from the times of like we've been watching football, we had 2 Unai Emery signings and 1 Mikel Arteta signing. And of all the Arsenal fans that I got lists from, only 2 people had the same number 1. Everyone else had a different player for their number 1 worst signing. So as you can probably tell, there's some emotional attachment. People obviously have.
It has to be. I feel like it's so tough to do a top 10 worst signing without emotional.
Yeah. And the craziest thing is that I got 28 different names for a top 10.
It has been a bit of a banter era, though.
Yeah. After only asking 6 people. So I'll go through some of these. We'll quickly kind of move through some of these, and then we'll talk a bit more in depth in the top 10. But 28th was Lacazette. He got 1 vote in last place. I think it's harsh. I understand the price tag.
You know how I feel about Lacazette, especially towards the end of his.
And in 3-4 years, Jesus could be here.
Oh, don't. Let's
be uncomfortable conversations. Because we know Lacazette walked so Jesus could run.
The similarities at this
price
stage in
tag,
time, shocking. Shocking.
I'd almost say Lacaz's bad seasons were offering more than last year.
That is true. They did. But Lacazette was potentially more frustrating to watch, man. Like,
it's tough.
It's tough. It's very tough. Because the first 2 seasons, Lacazette are not frustrating. Good player.
Yeah.
Did what he needed to do.
I'm not sure Jesus will ever get 10 Premier League goals for us. And I think Lacazette did it twice. I'm not sure Jesus will ever. So, but yeah, look, harsh, but I understand it. I get it. 27th, Yaya Sonogo, again, got 1 vote. Not too much to say there. 26th, Lokonga, 1 vote. Matt had him.
You know, Lokonga should kind of be, maybe not top 10, but should definitely be worth a mention, because company was coming out saying he's the new Yaya Toure, he's the new this, he's the new that. He was doing interviews with Rio saying, I've never seen anybody like this. His mentality, his passing on the ball, his athleticism. And the bad thing about Lokonga was we gave him more than 1 chance to show us. I remember there was the FA Cup games or the Carabao Cup games where we've put Lokonga in there versus a lower league side, and we've said, do something, show us.
Nottingham Forest.
Exactly. Yeah. Show us what you've got. And he's getting moved to, he's getting bossed around. And we're thinking, all right, well.
I think look, it's not looking good trying to sell Lokonga. I think he's already had his 2nd hamstring injury from his loan to Sevilla. So depending on, and we paid 23-24 million for him. Depending on the price tag we get back, Lokonga could be in this list. That's the only reason he's not in my list.
But what I will say about Lokonga is to give him some credit, that even though there was what sort of a company was saying, I don't think there was any real high expectations that he was gonna nail himself down.
Yeah, there wasn't.
And be a starter.
Yeah.
It would have been nice if he had been something.
Yeah. But if we end up selling him for less than 10 million,
which we will,
he probably deserves to be on this
list.
Yeah,
no, it's true.
But yeah, 25th, Guendouzi.
I had him on my list.
Voted by 1 person, yours truly. I'll let you speak on that.
Had him on my top 10. This is a personal thing.
Had him bottom, so not like...
This is a personal thing between me and Guendouzi. I just thought Guendouzi was... When I think of some of our darkest times, some of our darkest days, Guendouzi epitomizes.
He's right there.
Yeah, he epitomizes that. All that stuff Guendouzi was doing at Brighton, when we've had a whole 90 minutes on the pitch to show some fight and show some desire, and then as soon as the final whistle goes, You want to start punching guys up, getting into guys' faces, trying to get rowdy, tell them to show some respect. Bro, play football. Get the respect on the pitch. And then obviously it's the entitledness. You know the stories of Guendouzi having like a bit of an ego. Yeah.
Guendouzi is, out of all these names, he's the luckiest guy to not be on my list. Because if I had a number 11,
if you had another space,
it would have been Guendouzi. I was deciding between Guendouzi and maybe two other players. Guendouzi telling Mope that he makes more money than him, and then Arteta just sacking off Guendouzi.
Yeah, done.
No more time for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Immediately
Love
sold.
that.
It's a bad transfer, but I still remember Guendouzi
for having versus Tottenham. Yeah, look,
under Emery, it was working nicely.
He wasn't a bad player, so it's not necessarily that he's here.
It was an attitude.
It's an attitude thing. Yeah. He might have the top 10 in terms of what he achieved at Arsenal and his attitude at the club. It's such a mismatch.
Yeah. I don't think Guendouzi easily could have been on more lists.
Such a mismatch.
In 24th, one person had Kiwior, which was Nick.
We know who. Yeah.
I think that's harsh.
Extremely harsh.
I'm maybe JK Penitentiary. I'm one of Kiwior's biggest fans, but I really don't think he should be anywhere near this list.
Yeah. Obviously, we know Nick. Yeah. We know how hard Nick goes for his agendas.
I would love to be able to tell you guys watching what Nick's agenda against Kiwior is, but all I can really say is Nick has guys that he doesn't like.
Yeah. And he has his reasons.
And that's it.
And
if you want to chat to him, follow us on Insta and I'll drop his app. And you can message him and ask him. or one day I will get Nick on the pod.
Yeah.
We'll have to get Nick on the pod.
Get him one.
And ask him about somebody. But yeah, look, 23rd, almost a bit similar to Kiwior, Torreira. Again, voted for by yours truly. Only vote was from Michael.
I had Torreira in mind. Because
a bit harsh.
Again, maybe not so much on ability, but it was just what the club was doing to me at the time. Like Torreira first season.
I think you might have put everyone from that transfer window in your list.
Torreira first season, love Torreira. Heart of a lion, getting around the pitch, jumping into challenges, goals in big games.
The white Kante, they were saying.
But then when I really thought about it in the cold light of day, Arsenal signed a 5'4" midfielder from Udinese and was like, you need to be the best player in
25 mil.
Yeah, in a Barclays Premier League team.
And he kind of was.
No, he was, even at his best, he wasn't our best player.
Yeah, okay, he wasn't. But there were times where Torreira
he was good. My thing about Torreira was, as soon as obviously Emery fucked him around a bit, started putting him in the 10. We never really understood why Torreira was the highest guy up the pitch, type of stuff. But my thing about Torreira was the club have done all the, and remember, this is Sven Mislintat. This is like, we're looking into numbers, we're looking into XGs, we're looking into all this kind of stuff, where we're making this tactical analysis stuff. And then at the end of the day, I think unless he is Kante, it is very hard to center your midfield around a 5'4" guy. So it's nothing even personal against Torreira. Sure, he had great attitude, great application. He was decent with his ability, but he's in my top 10 just because the club itself was trying to push us in a direction that was never going to work long term.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless he was partnered next to tree stumps the way we have now, Rice, Marino, X, Y, and Z. It was just never really gonna work.
We were kind of living off the, like, Santi defied all the
Yeah. If his tech is at that level
of a guy who's that tall,
calm, but we signed him to be a destroyer.
Yeah, but then when Emery started playing him as a number 10, that was when the wheels fell off. That was when. And
then another reason why I have Torreira in there was the loan spells. We could not get rid of him.
Yeah.
Loan.
And I don't even know how much
went for free.
It would, probably. I don't even
contracts run out. We're not giving you an extension. Of course, the 5'4" guy in midfield. No other Premier League teams wanted that. No,
they were like Galatasaray loans. It was. But look, Torreira, you scored that goal in the North.
You scored that goal.
I will always remember
that. It's not
that.
a personal thing like Guendouzi.
Like the rest of these guys, I'm ignoring Kiwior because I don't think that deserves to be here, and Lacazette, to be fair. But the others, they don't really have a moment as big as that. But 22nd, Joel Campbell, got one vote.
Very harsh.
I think that's a bit harsh.
It's the harshest.
It's not more harsh than Kirill.
No, that's not
There's no
Joe.
way.
Joe was alright.
More harsh than Kirill.
And Joe again.
Yeah, and Kirill's been
Kyrill's been alright. Kyrill's not on my list. He wouldn't be near my list. Neither would Joe, because Joe was almost like he felt like an academy kind of guy.
Yeah. There was no expectation. Nothing. 21st Mkhitaryan. One vote. Again, yours
on
truly.
my list.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's not on more people's list.
You're the only one that voted for him.
Mkhitaryan was one of easily Arsenal's top 10 worst signings. Easily. We let Sanchez go for free. Got Mkhitaryan in return.
We've only done 2 top 10 worst transfers for Arsenal and Man United. He's been in both of them.
yo. We let.
But I think
you know how I love Sanchez. So my rationale behind it, you know how much I loved Sanchez and his time at Arsenal. We let that situation play out. We let him go to Man United for free. We didn't want to end up with our pants pulled all the way down, which they were anyway.
Pause.
So we grabbed Mkhitaryan in, and must be said, in the Prem games he was alright. Provided some technical quality that we didn't necessarily have before, assist to Aubameyang, all this kind of stuff. But I have him there for the Baku thing, not being able to play in Baku. Not his fault.
Yeah, but
exactly.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. And then again, at the end of the day, when you let your killer go in Alexis Sanchez and you sign an older guy for free who didn't really put up any tree stumps, I would have rather have not signed Mkhitaryan, gone into the market, put 20M on somebody else who was 23 that would have given us the same output. Because he was getting us 5 goals, 5 assists.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. But I still kind of look back on that as like, because for the longest part, it looked like we weren't going to get anything. And Sanchez was just going to go for a free. So I still kind of look back on that as though like Arsenal, it's not a good deal because Sanchez should never go for free, but at least we got something.
But what did we get though?
So a player better than Alexis. From both their times, Alexis at United and Mkhitaryan at Arsenal is close.
It is very close, and then Baku tips it over the edge for me. Baku is, and as I said, it's not really Mkhitaryan's fault, but
yeah, Baku was crazy.
The biggest game that we've had
and
for a very, very, very
long
time.
To the country.
And he needed that position.
Yeah.
It won't be had to start. He scored.
It's in Azerbaijan.
But
the conflict with Armenia.
It just sums up the era that we were in. Top 10 worst.
And it wasn't even a case of Mkhitaryan was going to change anything or even start.
Exactly.
But it was the fact that we just couldn't even have him as
a man
option.
down. We had to call up a guy, 17-year-old from the academy to come and sit on the bench.
But yeah, you are the only one that voted for him still.
Mkhitaryan was not that one.
20th, Lucas Perez got 2 votes. I can see why.
He was in my shortlist, I think.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of...
this is just one of those ones. This all comes down to Arsene. It's not even Arsenal's fault.
Yeah.
It's Arsene Wenger. Why did Arsene Wenger push for this signing, or at least get it over the line, if he really didn't think he was ready for Premier League football? And the worst thing about Lucas Perez was when he played, he would score. Give him 5 minutes at the end, he gets a goal. Bournemouth, he's there. He's ready. He's there.
We used to be clamoring for Lucas Perez.
And Arteta, Arsene would never give him any minutes, and then he went back.
Yeah.
2 seasons later.
The problem with Lucas Perez is that we needed a striker,
and we signed him at 29.
Right? Yeah,
28.
and I don't even think if Lucas Perez played, it was like off the wing. Giroud was still there. It was like it just didn't really make a lot of sense. So I understand that one. 19th, we've got Stefan Lichtsteiner.
Yeah,
2 votes.
That should have been.
I had him.
That should have been in mine. To be fair,
I had him 8th. But my thing with Lichtsteiner, which I guess we probably could say for a couple of the people coming up as well, but I thought Lichtsteiner was going to be a great signing. Yeah, or maybe not a great signing, but a good signing. Yeah.
One, you know what?
Experience.
That's what we were telling you. You thought he was a signing that a big club makes.
Free transfer.
Yeah, winner.
I
vividly remember Arsenal tweeting all of Lichtsteiner's awards.
Yeah.
All of his medals, all of the
Swiss Player of the Year,
all of the Serie A's, all of the stuffs that he'd won. And I was thinking, wow, real winner here. And Bellerin's got trouble.
Bellerin, we needed the replacement, and Lichtsteiner came, and I thought he was it. And people will ask me why Tomiyasu's on the desk. This episode will tell you why Tomiyasu's on the desk, because the Arsenal right backs pre-Tomiyasu, it was a dark place. So yeah, Lichtsteiner, and also after seeing a couple games of Lichtsteiner in the Premier League, it was just so easy to know this guy's never.
He was never gonna make it.
So I don't know what Emery.
He was never gonna make it.
And then man thought a 33-year-old.
He was a dressing room signing, and I know he had no impact.
Exactly, it's okay for me because I'm a fan. I can say, yeah, Lichtsteiner's a good signing before he comes. I'm looking forward to this. But for you, as a sporting director, Sven Mislintat, Emery is a very good manager. To bring in Lichtsteiner and think, yeah, this guy's going to cut it at right back. Oh, it was just, he had to make my list.
Terrible.
He had to make my list.
Terrible.
18th, Chamak got 2 votes. Understandable. 17th, William Gallas got 1 vote from me. I had him third. And I cannot believe no one else had him in their list. William Gallas was an absolute nightmare of a signing. Horrendous.
He was. But you know what?
He wouldn't look out of place on some of our top 10 worst Man United transfers.
My thing with Gallas is, I think the reason I haven't put him top 10 is because I still laugh about how funny the whole Gallas situation. Gallas turning up with a briefcase, 5 million cash.
Yeah, and Ashley Cole going the other way. That's even more reason he should be on your list. Gallas came with 5 million in a briefcase, and Ashley Cole went to Chelsea.
And he took the 10. He took the arm.
Wearing number 10 as a centre back. He should be on the list just for that.
The worst thing about that as well is, it's not even like at Chelsea. Gallas was good at Chelsea, but it's not even like at Chelsea he was the guy. He needs to come and snatch the number 10 of Arsenal Football Club, because we've just signed
the number 10.
a real killer. Who's giving him that?
Like we talk about banner eras, yeah, but William Gallas wearing number 10. Not only that, and I don't think Gallas was necessarily bad.
Yeah, he was him.
I actually think he did all right.
He was
Arsenal.
Gallas.
In a like 10-year period where a lot of our centre backs were whack.
Were terrible. Yeah,
Gallas was all right, but he comes in, he gets the captain's armband, and I will never ever forget
him crying
that day at Birmingham. We're in a title race. Yeah, we've drawn at Birmingham. They've scored a last-minute penalty, and Gallas is sat on the pitch crying,
sobbing.
You can see the captain's armband. He's sat on the floor.
Do you know what? You're right. You know, you're right. Actually, you're right.
Get in the changing room, cry in the changing
Gallas
room.
should be there.
We don't need
because
that.
Gallas set that whole Arsenal captain,
and the Chelsea thing,
in motion. The whole like weak, feeble captains. What does leadership mean at Arsenal Football Club?
100%.
And I agree with you. He was the one to set it off from Chelsea. And you're right. Ashley Cole went the other way,
because it was Gallas after Cesc left, didn't it?
Yeah. But I say the only reason I didn't have him in my top 10 is I still find it funny that business was done because Gallas turned up with 5 million in a briefcase.
Yeah.
Roman gave him his marching orders, and he came and he took the number 10 off us.
Yo, honestly, I couldn't believe Gallas didn't make more lists, because purely for the Birmingham thing's the biggest factor. I had him third, bro. That's how much I don't like this signing. And we're gonna see Chelsea players that have come to Arsenal. Yeah, and he was one of the first.
One of the first, if not.
And he wasn't the worst, probably. So, 16th, Rio Miyachi. He had 1 vote. Sam had him second. Again, just didn't see enough of Miyachi. That's potentially why. 15th, Gervinho got 2 votes.
Yeah, another one that makes sense.
14th, Rob Holding. He got 1 vote, but that person had him first. Can you guess who it was?
Nick.
I've already told you about Nick's agendas.
We'll have to.
I had no doubt that Nick was going to put Rob Holding first. Nick will criticize Rob Holding at any given opportunity. He's not a fan of Rob Holding going to Turkey and getting the hairline done. He wasn't happy with that.
I don't know what to make about Rob Holding, man. But
I think he could have been on this list. He was on my short list.
Do you know what? I can't put him on the list because I think Arsenal fans have to admit we overdid the couple good months that Rob Holding had. We might have overdone them.
I also think we paid 2.5 million for Rob Holding.
Exactly, for a reason.
I think he gave us more than that.
Yeah, he did.
He did. I think he won 2 trophies. Maybe
he did.
Had some good performances.
He did. We put him into, not to say that we put him into conversations he should never have been in, but if you pay 2.5 million for a guy, we should probably just respect that.
I think we were putting him in conversations.
He shouldn't. He didn't need to be. It's tough. It's tough to, that's what I'm saying. It's tough to put it on Rob because he was Rob. Rob was probably lived out, apart from a couple of injuries that really did knock him back.
Yeah, he had an ACL injury.
Yeah.
When he was in a good run of form, that killed him.
But he probably hit his ceiling in terms of like playing at a top level for not as I was gonna say as long as he could, but like playing for Arsenal at a top level for as long as he could, whilst only still being a 2 million rated centre back. He didn't come through any like outstanding academies.
Yeah,
he
came
didn't.
from Bolton.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like one of those talents that we squandered from a great. You know, he did what he could for us,
but
he could have done more.
Yeah, and also where I can understand, not first, I think first is, but again, Nick has his agendas, but I can understand him being on the list because there's a lot of Rob Holding errors, Rob Holding fuck up.
Yeah, that
cost us
huge games,
big time.
The Tottenham one, and that top forward, that top four race,
the sending off.
Yeah, the sending off.
Yeah,
and I agree. There's times in games we were asking Rob Holding not to do anything extraordinary, just do your job. Just do your job. Just do the bare minimums.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about Rob Holding was he was a nice guy.
I liked him.
Yeah,
I like Rob. He was still like
yeah, that's the worst thing about it.
Yeah,
I want to kill him.
And one of the biggest problems is we sold Rob Holding to Palace for 2 million, 2.5 million,
and he's not played a minute.
And he not a minute.
Yeah, Lacroix's coming.
He's playing Carabao Cup at Palace. Those are the minutes he's getting.
Under 23s.
So yeah, look, but again, like some of these players have memorable things. Rob Holding told Diego Costa where it was in that final.
Yeah,
we got the dub, so he can hold on to that. 13th, similar player, Pablo Mari.
Yeah, I had him on my list.
Two votes, me and you.
I had him on my list.
So it's a good one to talk about.
This is on the club.
Yeah.
Pablo Mari.
And this is obviously he didn't make our top 10, but this is a Mikel Arteta signing.
It is. But I put more onus on Edu. Mikel gets his blame because Mikel yesed and greenlit the 4-year deal. But Edu was going
after a 6-month loan spell that was bang average at best. Bang average at best.
I put it on Edu because Edu was going on and on and on about this guy, Spanish midfielder, and everything about this stinks. Spanish defender, playing in Brazil.
How old was he? 27?
I don't. Was he even playing in the top flight or the second division in Brazil, wherever it was?
He was playing for Flamengo.
Okay, so he's playing top flight football in Brazil. Shipped over. We're in an injury crisis. We need some serious help back there.
And we needed the left footer.
Yeah. The angles. And we bring him in, and as you say, the 6-month loan didn't go that well. It wasn't like we need to sign this guy on a 6-month loan. And here Arsenal come with a 4-year deal. Slap bang. Let's double your salary. Let's lock you in. Let's make sure no other Premier League club thinks you're desirable at all.
A 4-year deal is crazy.
4 years.
Crazy.
Him and Cedric back to back. Let's lock these guys in. And Pablo Mari just did not want it in this league. That's all I can say about Pablo Mari. He just did not want it in this league. Physically, he didn't want to get on the ball. Yeah. He did not want anything to do with attackers.
Levi Colwell.
Yeah.
That's the comparison. Left footed as well. But yeah, me and you had him 6th. And again, this is even more prominent with Pablo Mari than it was with Lichtsteiner. But Pablo Mari was never, ever going to be good enough.
Get to the levels.
He was never going to get to a level where he could play for us.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah. Especially
so how they sanctioned a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you know what Pablo Mari... I think the real scary thing about Pablo Mari was, obviously it was the dark era finishing 8th, X, Y, and Z, but it was maybe a sign like we could be Everton.
This could be us.
Yeah.
We
could be
8th,
exactly.
9th, yeah.
Signing guys from all over the world, random leagues, random teams come in.
That's what Pablo Mari was telling us. Thanks. This is where we are. Because looking at some of these other names, all of them I'm looking at now had potential.
Yeah. Well, most of them
to
are
be something.
Most of them are at least playing in top 5 leagues.
Yeah. And even looking down this list, Lokonga had potential. Yaya Sonogo, even Guendouzi, Kirill Torreira, Mkhitaryan, Perez, Lichtsteiner, Gallas, Holding. They all had potential.
Shamak was coming off a good season in France.
Yeah, exactly. And he had a great start.
Yeah.
Scoring goals. I remember he scored in the North London derby, but Pablo Mari, I just never saw this guy.
There was no background.
Lukaku buried him.
Bro, the thing about Pablo Mari was we didn't fight out any competition for his signature. It was just us down there. It was just Edu down there saying, oh, this guy's the next one. He's up next. 4-year deal. Lukaku ends him, of course, but It's
It was
even
done before that.
exactly,
It was done before
exactly.
that.
It was done before that, and then the Lukaku thing is just like, oh yeah, we're never gonna sell this guy,
Yeah,
and we didn't.
yeah. But he ended up going for free or something.
Yeah,
Down his
we
contract,
had to
whatever.
like pay him out,
Yeah.
and that
Look,
was that's all on the club.
bad signing. 12th, Andre Santos got 2 votes. Again, I think it's a bit harsh. Andre Santos did all right, but also he was similarly
He
just
was-
a left back that was just
Do you know what it was? He's got that Brazilian. I'm just gonna fall off a cliff now.
Yeah. And also he was a Brazilian left back in the sense of like he's a winger.
Yeah. And
Pedro Porro.
do you know who he was? And it's funny because his name is Santos. Who was that left back that used to play for Juventus that was also Brazilian? Andre
Alexandro. Yeah.
Him.
Yeah,
I should be up there.
Alexandro was
obviously levels.
Yeah.
But that's the mold.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the mold. I kind of should be a winger.
And going forward,
I'll whip it in.
and Arsenal have
I'll
a
pick
trend
you
with
out.
their left backs. Monreal.
Yeah.
You famously said he's top 3 finishers at the club.
He was.
Yeah,
He was.
Yeah, he was.
If I needed a chance, if it wasn't
hopefully
going to fall
it
to
falls to
strikers.
Monreal.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andre Santos scored a goal at Stamford Bridge. Even Gael Clichy had a bit. And Calafiori is going to follow in those footsteps. So, but yeah, 11th, Socrates, again 2 votes.
Snuck just out the top 10.
Yeah,
he was a really bad signing.
You had him 4th.
Yeah, he was a really
Who else had
really bad
Socrates?
signing?
Nick
man.
had Socrates.
Like it was because it was again. This was Sven Mislintat era numbers, analytics. Where
This is another one from the same window as Guendouzi, Torreira.
Numbers, analytics. We're this club now. We've done the research. First year Socrates, not that bad.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. Socrates. First year Socrates was
not
good.
that bad. And that was what he was kind of brought in to do. Stopgap. Let's just get a 29, 30-year-old centre back who's played at a really high level for a while, come in and do the job, and that's what he did.
Yep.
But the diminishing returns after that first season to now, where we have an active liability back there.
Yeah.
Can't run, does not want the ball at his feet.
I mean, bro, look at some of the centre backs on this list, bro. Holding, Pablo Mari, Socrates.
Yeah, we're gonna get into more. Mustafi, I'm sure.
Like, and those were signed to replace each other.
What system, what style of play can you build around Socrates? At the back? He doesn't want it. He doesn't want the ball at his feet. I remember Leno giving it to Socrates. The calamities back there from Socrates and Mustafi. And the worst thing is we were stuck with them.
Yeah.
Because as you say, they've been signed to replace somebody else who was god awful or always injured.
I'm pretty sure Socrates left on a free.
Yeah. And the analytics guys just couldn't seem to pick this up. This was going to be an issue for second year, third year, fourth year.
Socrates was such a short-term signing.
That when we had signed Socrates, we should have signed another centre back in January.
Yeah, 100%. It should have been like a Socrates with Saliba.
100%, man.
So you can send Saliba out on his loan, and then after a year, 2 years, when Socrates. But again, Socrates, another one of those, just fell off a cliff.
Bro, the mistakes, man. If you're an Arsenal fan, you know some of the mistakes that Socrates was making.
When Emery was trying to play out from the back.
Exactly. Emery was trying to have some possession-based football. And we had 2 oafs back there who just could not. And the worst thing about Socrates is you could tell when he was right. Like, he would just kick it out into touch, man.
I do think 4th is high, though, still.
Nah, it
but again,
is.
like I said, because I've only asked Arsenal fans, there's personal things. So.
It is. I think for me, it goes down into just like trying to have this analytical director of football who is just not doing the eye testing. Just look at him. Bro.
Yeah.
Just look at this. Is this really sustainable for 2 to 3 years? That's what I hated. And then the slow, and then he has to see out his contract. No one else wants him. We can't get rid of him. We can't send him back to Dortmund. Not even like Galatasaray or Greece or anybody wants him. No one's going to pay any money for him. So he just sits here on 100K.
Socrates was another one that made my shortlist.
Chewing up bench minutes.
Yeah, and then, like you say, it just becomes a problem when they don't play.
It's funny because I'm sure Arsenal don't even wish these guys happy birthday or... I don't see anything about Socrates anymore. Why?
Well, we don't need to. We don't need to be doing that. We're not a banter club. But yeah, look, we'll go to number 10. And obviously top 10 now. So in 10th place, with only 2 votes, but he managed to sneak into the top 10. Manuel Almunia.
Yeah, he should have been in my list.
I had him 5th.
Should have been on my list.
In my list, so pretty high. I had him higher than Pablo Mari, higher than Lichtsteiner.
Just glass hands.
Almunia is one of the worst keepers I've seen.
Just glass hands.
He's probably the worst keeper I've seen at Arsenal. And we've seen some
terrible keepers. Yeah, keepers. I think it's because even though we've seen some bad keepers, they've had some big. Like I remember Szczesny's had some double saves.
Yeah.
Versus Tottenham and other teams. I've seen Ospina make some great. How's he got there? Despite all the tomfoolery that they've done.
And so many of Almunia's howlers are still like embedded.
Yeah.
The Ronaldo free kick.
Yeah.
Obviously, Champions League finals are a big one.
Yeah.
The David Bentley goal in the North London derby.
Danny Rose.
But how's that gone in? The Danny Rose thing is just like Danny Rose never hit a ball as sweet as that ever.
But it shows you how Munoz is. I'm gonna come. You know what? I can't even say be weak. He's got a strong arm to it. He's got a strong hand. He's punched it far away.
Yeah.
But
you really kind of want your keeper to save that. But the David Bentley one is just how's that gone?
For me, it's the Ronaldo one. It's the Ronaldo one.
Yeah,
he's got there. He's there.
But yeah, Almunia was just, and the other thing, and this isn't even Almunia's fault, but Wenger's
persistence with him.
Refusal to replace
him. I was gonna say Almunia was there for so long.
Like
Almunia was there for so long.
Me hate Almunia more, and it wasn't even his fault because he shouldn't have been playing. And we all knew
Almunia knew
we need a keeper. Then Wenger tried the Vito Manone.
Yeah.
And Wenger persisted with Almunia for so long.
You know, I said this, and this is off topic, but we must have the biggest, like, what you call it, produce for keepers. Like, our second keepers go on to have 5 to 10 years at another team. Vito Manone was here for a while.
Yeah.
Fabianski, all of these guys.
Yeah, Fabianski.
Who was the other one? Anyway, all of these second keepers at Arsenal who end up going to have careers at other clubs. Almunia should have been that.
Yeah.
Should have been the one that we sent down to whoever it was. Anybody.
But I don't even think they wanted him.
They need him. I can't say they needed him, but they would have taken
when
him.
They started talking about Almunia can play for England. He's been living in England for so long. He can go and be England's
I think it was something to do with the homegrown thing. Must have been at that point.
Bro, honestly, Almunia is one of the most jarring guys on this.
Well, what I say about Almunia as well is if you just watch Arsenal's highlights during the Almunia times, like we've said it, big calamity goals, but everybody ate with Almunia in goal. Everybody ate. Every team was scoring their goal of the season contender with Almunia in goal.
Yeah. And also Marlon Harewood was done.
Yeah, everybody got what they wanted with Almunia in goal.
And there was no redeeming factors. Crosses.
He was flappy.
Yeah, exactly. It was all the worst
no
parts.
Penalty saves.
Yeah, all the worst parts of a goalkeeper was Almunia.
Weak, scrawny. Goal looked twice the size when he was in it.
So it was awful, man. And then when he had the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Ospina made the goal look smaller.
And Ospina was tight.
That's what I'm saying. Nepo's wide open. Have that.
But look, we'll move it on. 9th place. Hector Bellerin got 2 votes, and I had him first.
Yeah, you're. I think it's harsh to put him on the list, but I understand the logic.
I checked the data. There was the transfer fee and everything. He came for 500k. So it's nothing. It's not basically a free transfer. But I still have him first. Right. The only other person that voted for him was Nick. Nick had him 8th. Nick said he would be higher, but obviously free transfer in that. So fair enough. And the reason why Bellerin's first for me is because I feel like both of us do a very good job of talking football and not getting personal with players. Yeah, because it's never a personal thing.
Yeah.
We just care about you performing on the pitch.
Of course.
But this is the closest it ever came
for me. To being personal.
Yeah. This is Bellerin's the closest
for Bellerin. Runs deep.
This is the closest it's ever come for me with an Arsenal player where I actually kind of I'm bordering on starting to hate them personally.
But you know what? Bellerin didn't help himself, I must admit.
When he was the planting trees. Planting trees for every clean sheet. And then we weren't keeping clean sheets. And guys were accusing him of hating the environment. Well, the fashion shows. Bro,
yeah. It's because Bellerin thought he was that guy.
This is and if Arteta hadn't taken him out of the team, it would have got personal.
Yeah.
Because Arteta again was persisting with Bellerin. It was really making me question whether I want to back Arteta or not as well. That's how much it was getting to me. I did not. Bellerin, for me, when he fell off and he was playing badly, he is one of the worst Arsenal players I have seen.
I can admit that, man. Bellerin's lows,
of the worst ones you can talk about with these
Bellerin's
transfers
lows
and stuff,
insanely low.
Bellerin, of any player that's played consistently, right? Guys have come in, had bad performances, you're on the bench and whatever. For any Arsenal player that has played consistently, I think Bellerin was the worst one.
Bellerin's lows are insanely low. His obviously, but the only bear I give Bellerin is his post injuries lows. Like after that injury, I can't even remember if it was ACL, meniscus, or whatever it was. But
I think it was Achilles.
Who he came back as?
Yeah. And I will say, before the injury, he was a baller.
Great player.
He was a baller.
Good talent.
Yeah.
We were loving him.
Understood the triangles.
But when he came back, and I agree with you. I think the most annoying thing is it isn't even his performances which were shocking. It's the persistence from the managers to get Bellerin into the side. And then Bellerin would switch off at the back post. Bellerin would give away the penalty going forward. But the going forward stuff as well. Bellerin just like over egging the ball into the ball. Like it's just going out for a throw in. It's just being collected by our left back.
And his end product
it's going all
used to
the
be
way.
So good.
It's going all the way through onto the other side. There's a cutback. There's the penalties, but he's there. Mkhitaryan is there. He can get it home. Bellerin goes for the dink. It's the decision making.
Makes the wrong decision.
That's when he goes for the dink at the back post. And Perez, like, come on, Bellerin.
And Theo's got a challenge. 6'2" guy.
And Hoof and Morgan.
To
win
it was so. There was a North London derby goal when Son cuts in and wraps one.
Yeah.
And Bellerin's on the floor, slipping and sliding. It was fucking annoying.
But I can't have Bellerin because he overpaid his worth. And I give him some credit for the the Achilles thing. But I do agree that Bellerin's lows for Arsenal Football Club
is one of the worst.
Is one of the worst lows we have ever seen from a player. And I think the issue is because managers persisted with him, we just constantly, week in, week out, we saw them.
Yeah. And we kept
week in, week out. And there'll be times where Bellerin wasn't even the worst player on the pitch, but he just had to get pelters. Because it's yet again another stinker from Bellerin.
Yeah. And then he was starting the next week. I remember, I think it was around COVID time, I was talking to Arman, and I remember you guys used to say that I get onto Bellerin too much and stuff, but I was telling Arman, I think there's probably 17 or 18 right backs in the league at the time that I think are better than Bellerin. Carl Walker-Peters was in there at the time, and Southampton was struggling. I said, I'd take Carl Walker-Peters.
Yeah.
You had guys like Ricardo Pereira, even got Kenny Tete at the time. These are the guys that I was taking over Bellerin at this time. And yeah, man, that's for me why I had him first. It was just like, but when he left, it's all cool now. Yeah. I don't hold the grudge.
But it was bad.
When he was here,
was bad.
It was
bad.
Bro, I can't tell you. No,
and
there's
I think
no
people do forget. Now that he's gone and it's been a couple of years of like having semi-decent right backs and stuff, I feel like people look back and like, or Arsenal fans. I think people.
Bro, who are you trying to slander, man? We've got elite right backs.
I think that people, when they look, Arsenal fans, when they look back at Bellerin, when you say the name Bellerin, they think of the good moments, like the Dortmund challenge and what it was like when Bellerin was coming through under Arsene Wenger.
I think it's probably 50-50, bro.
Or maybe it's just me.
I definitely think there's Arsenal fans that will tell you what Bellerin became.
Maybe it's just me, but I feel like when I think of Bellerin first, the good moments come to mind. And then I remember, maybe it's just because I've
to be fair, now, I can remember the good moments.
Maybe it's because I blotted out the bad ones.
Yeah.
And
there were some,
There was a lot of them. There were a lot.
The goal against Liverpool, crazy. Cup finals, he played well. But for that period of time, there was just... I was begging Arteta to take him out of the team because I didn't want to get angry.
But to give Bellerin some credit, what I will say is, in some of our biggest wins, even in those moments, he was there for assists, for goals.
Yeah. And there was a period where I remember you were saying that if you need someone in that Arsenal team to play the final ball,
Yeah,
to
he
make-
could do it.
like this is obviously before his decision making just became, before he was planting too many trees and whatnot. He was that guy.
Full-time vegan. Yeah.
Yeah. He was that guy that could play the final ball.
Yeah.
And could get the thing right in the final third. But
As you said, understood the triangles. He did.
yeah, 100%. In 8th place we've got Squillaci. He got 3 votes, and Matt had him 4th. So pretty high.
It just
Again,
shows
the number of
centre-back.
centre backs.
It just shows you could have a merry-go-round for how Arsenal fans felt about centre backs between 2008, 2006, and like 2018. Like
Which
that
is
that
like
10-year
a
period.
decade.
That 10-year period. You could have. We only are 6 Arsenal fans. You could have 60,000.
Yeah.
And it would be one of the 4. It would be like one
Yeah.
of 5 or 6 centre backs who've made the top 4.
100%.
Squillaci, Socrates, was, you know, for everybody.
Pablo Mari holding.
Everybody has their individual reason for why
Yeah.
they hated this one more than the rest of them.
Yep.
But deep down, they're just all as shit as each other.
And I think for Matt, Matt was kind of thinking, I think we signed Squillaci for like 10, 11 million. There was another one where it was like, oh, it's a coup. Wenger's got him in. This guy's played Champions League. He's played for Sevilla. He's experienced.
It's the
coming
Sylvester story. We heard that with Sylvester.
Yeah, Spanish. Like, I think he was Spanish. But yeah, the Sylvester thing as well. Bro, the amount of bad centre back.
Yeah, ridiculous.
That Arsene Wenger signed.
Like, and maybe hindsight is obviously 2020, but like, of course, Squillaci wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
Of course, Squillaci wasn't going to just turn into some monster CB that would be at the club for 5 years and hold it down and just become.
But for me, he's not close to Pablo Mari because the game was different then.
It was. You needed a lot less.
Like if Pablo Mari had come then,
yeah,
he might have been like relatively.
The angles would have been undeniable.
Yeah, deep.
Back then, and this sounds a bit weird to say, but back then, as a centre back, you needed to be good at 1 or 2 things.
Yeah.
Like really good at 1 or 2 things, as opposed to today where it's like you need to be top at 5 or 6
so
different
you need
things.
to be the prototype.
Yeah, exactly.
Saliba.
You need to be top at like 5 or 6 different things. If Squillaci could just head balls away and sort of put your body in the line for clearances and that, can't.
And again, the Levi Colwill thing.
Yeah.
He was just never going to be up for it. Never going to be up for it.
Just did not want it.
And I know Armand's going to be like, why is Levi Colwill catching so many straights? But that's the best like comparison I can make. 7th place, Park Chu-young.
No, this is harsh.
He only got 2 votes, but those 2 votes had him in 3rd and 4th place from Sam and Matt. I was surprised. Sam and Amor, sorry. But yeah, I was surprised. He wasn't in my list. And I don't remember much of him.
This is what I was going to say. Me at 11, 12 years old, 30, whenever we signed Park Chu-young, I knew at then, with my little knowledge of football, that this is a commercial signing. This guy is not here to pull up any trees. Arsene is not going to integrate him at all into the starting lineup. It was done right before the preseason tour. All the shirts were bought. We sold out. Shirts.
The way Wenger used to convince us, because we kind of believed that, like, in a couple of years, this guy, he's next up. And the way Wenger could sell that to Arsenal fans then, the power he had was crazy.
Like, there was no expectations on Park Chu-young to be anything at Arsenal.
Not
from Arsene Wenger, not from the fans, not from the media. Like, Sky Sports let us get away with it. Like, no one was saying.
Yeah, no one even really brings him up.
yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, look, we'll move on from that. 6th place, 3 votes. Another Chelsea player, Willian.
Yeah. He has to be there.
And the 3 votes came from me, Michael, and Nick, who had him the highest. Nick had him 3rd.
Yeah, Willian has to be there.
You had him 5th. I had him 7th. He would have been higher, but he was a free transfer.
Yeah, Willian has to be.
Willian had cost 15 million. He probably would have been 3rd, 2nd or 3rd.
Yeah.
Willian was,
Willian almost undid so much good Arteta work.
Yeah,
so
single-handedly, just
Willian. And Edu, once again, Edu might not know the Brazilians. We might need to get somebody else in specifically to sign.
The Willian one made sense. We were very happy.
It did make sense. It did make sense. And then it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then it was.
He didn't score his first goal till April. He got 3 assists on that opening day against Fulham and then just fell off a cliff.
See, it was a Sanchez thing, talking about it just didn't feel right. I turned up at the club and I wasn't happy. I wanted to go back to where I was. All of the
hated it. Wasn't for him, and then we had to he decided to forfeit his contract and his money, and that he wanted to get out that badly. The Chelsea thing as well, just Chelsea fans being able to
to
have that
shit
one
on
over
us.
you, it's bad. And Willian, just the player Willian was, and we talk about who Willian was at Chelsea.
I completely forget actually that he signed for Arsenal. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I'll always see him as a Chelsea player.
Yeah. And the player Willian was at Chelsea was cold.
Good player.
Cold.
I remember the seasons when Hazard was off and Willian was doing the things. Free kicks, 25, 30 yards, either foot, either wing.
Big goals as well.
Yeah. He just did not work at Arsenal and was never, like, even when we did sign him, we were hoping to scratch the last final years of output out of him, which and if it wasn't for free, as you say, he would be in the top 3.
Yeah, 100%.
If we paid any sort of money for him, but we did slap him on some big wages.
Yeah. But literally, like I said, the only reason he's not higher on my list is because he was a free transfer.
How long was he there for? Just a year?
Yeah, I think it was 1 year.
Yeah.
Fifth place, Denis Suarez. Now, Denis Suarez only got 2 votes, but he's made it to fifth place because those 2 votes had him in first and in second. Matt had him in second, and I'm going to let Michael speak on this one because Michael had him first.
It's true. I did have Denis Suarez as my all-time top 10
worst. The worst ever
Arsenal signing of the Emirates era.
And this is definitely a personal one.
This is a personal one. This is my professional, my bad. This is my going on record.
Do you want to tell the people what you were saying?
Because I was saying, and I will caveat this, first of all, by saying I was right, but I was wrong. So I was right. I was right because the profile of player that we needed to sign.
No, stop.
We signed.
Stop. Don't do that. Don't do that.
A season later,
you can't have a my bad and be like, but I was kind of right. No, it's just
Arsenal needed that profile.
No, relax on the profile.
Arsenal needed that.
What profile is that?
So let me first say my bad, because I was saying before Denis Suarez came in, I think this is exactly the kind of guy we need to knit our attack and defense together, the midfield to combine, get the numbers, be good on the ball, do the slide rule passes. This was like coming towards the end of the number 10 phase. When we were signing Denis Suarez. And he was my final, like, this is it, man. This is the last number 10 that Arsenal are going to need to take us. And bearing in mind, this was like, I've come through years of Arsene Wenger schooling. We've always had neat, tidy, blonde midfielders in there who can do their thing, either foot, whatever. But I don't think Denis Suarez honestly played more than 15 minutes.
I just remember him coming on in a Man City game.
Yeah, for Arsenal. That was it. I
don't remember seeing him after that. And he was a loan signing. So
beyond Pablo Mari, beyond Socrates or whoever else we spoke about, no one has ever embodied, I just am not up for it, more than Denis Suarez. Excuse after excuse from the manager about where Denis Suarez is and what he's doing and the state of his injuries and the muscle war. He's tweaked this, he's feeling that. Like
that is so true.
No one has ever embodied that. I don't want it.
I'm trying to think of someone.
I'm not trying to play at this level than Denis Suarez, and that's why he deserves the my bad, because I really thought Denis Suarez. I remember him saying he's going to come in and score in the Man City game.
Yeah,
I remember him coming and saying that, like, this is it's gonna be like the dream.
Well, I don't know if you said that.
That's what I'm saying. I remember saying this.
Yeah. I thought you were saying he came.
No. I remember saying he was gonna come in and get the winner.
Yeah.
You know, and he did fuck all for Arsenal Football Club. But then we signed.
I don't know why your expectations were that high.
But then we signed Odegaard. And
what, like 5 years later?
The profile.
That's not the profile. Stop with the profile thing. The profile thing isn't going to save you.
The profile.
Denis Suarez
was right there.
We don't even know what Denis Suarez's profile was. We saw him for 15 minutes.
Denis Suarez, I think, as well, when he left, like, gave up on football quite quickly afterwards. Like, he was still getting rotational minutes, bench minutes.
Is he your boy or something? Why are you trying to...
I'm just saying, this is my bad. I told Amar and other Arsenal fans at the time that I thought Dennis Suarez was going to pull up tree stumps.
Yeah.
At Arsenal, and that's why he'll be the all-time.
When it started going downhill, Matt still remembers this. Michael said he looks like a uni art student, which was one of the crazy funniest things, right? Because at that point Michael had fully sold his stocks. He was like, "This guy,
I stand by that, man.
He doesn't want to be fighting guys."
He does, yo. I've never, ever in all my years of football seen somebody who does not want it more than Dennis Suarez. Like,
yeah,
there's players that don't want it but get on the pitch and pretend.
Yeah,
they run around. They just go through the motions.
Meza,
exactly. Dennis.
There were games where Meza wanted it. And
yeah.
There were games where he could pretend.
Yeah. I'm just gonna go for this header. You know, when you just hunch his back.
Games.
Yeah.
But there was no game that Dennis Suarez. No game
ever. I don't know how he made it through the medical. I don't know how he made it through the screening process. I don't know how. If anybody had spoken to Dennis Suarez for 5 minutes, they would have said, "I don't think this guy really wants to play football."
And like, this is Emery signing as well.
I don't really think. Once again, analytical error.
Yeah, for all the guys doing the Arteta Emery thing, yeah. Then we don't really need to get into that here, yeah. But because Emery's done a great job at Villa, but Emery made some bad decisions at Arsenal.
And this was when Arsenal, a lot of Arsenal fans,
recruitment at Arsenal,
a lot of Arsenal fans, and obviously the club at the time thought that Arsenal were really only 1 or 2 signings away from challenging. No one was going to say was going to win it, but everybody was saying we're 1 or 2 signings away from challenging. Get a good centre back in there. Get a good midfielder in there.
We were doing the Man United thing.
We're right there.
Yeah.
And who did we sign though? Dennis Suarez, Socrates, Pablo Mari, like
Torreira,
like
Guendouzi.
That after the analytical and data guys got their fingers on the transfer budget, the brown envelope started to kick in. And this is who they were brown enveloping for.
Yeah. For Dennis Suarez. But look, we'll move on to our top 4 now. So I'll quickly read this from 10 to 5. Almunia in 10th, Bellerin in 9th, Squillaci in 8th, Park Chu-young in 7th, Willian in 6th, Dennis Suarez in 5th, and in 4th place, yet another Chelsea player, Petr Cech.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, only got 3 votes. From me, you, and Nick.
I had him high up, man.
And me and you both had him second.
Yeah.
Which was the highest.
If Dennis Suarez wasn't a professional, my bad. Cech could have been my number 1.
Yeah. So, well, if it wasn't a personal thing with Bellerin, Cech's there. He's ready to take that place. I've already spoken on Gallas, and I had Cech above Gallas.
I hate Arsenal Petr Cech from match day 1, near post wide open, and we should have seen the signs. But everything,
the near post Petr Cech thing,
everything about this transfer stunk. John Terry, Chelsea captain, Chelsea legend, JT, coming out and saying
live on MNF,
Cech he's one of those guys that saves you 5 to 10 points a season. Arsenal have got a real keeper on their hands here. And I remember listening to that thinking, man, if John Terry's saying this, we were all talking about most clean sheets, most appearances, he's better than Van der Sar, all of this kind of stuff.
And we'd gone from Almunia, Manone,
Szczesny, Ospina. Yeah. We'd had the bad times.
Yeah.
Now we thought, this is, again, duped into, this is what big clubs do.
Yep.
They just go and they get an absolute winner, an all-timer.
We just finished second, and our only summer signing was
Petr Cech.
Our only summer signing.
5 to 10 points right there. That's the difference between second and first. But they were on it.
And Petr Cech, man, the near post thing.
Near post wide open. But he has a worse Baku story than Mkhitaryan.
Yeah.
Petr Cech coming out the day before the final saying, next season I'm going to be Chelsea's sporting director.
Yeah.
We're playing Chelsea tomorrow in the Europa League final. The biggest game of our season. Do or die. We haven't had Champions League football. We win this. We're in the Champions League football. And Petr Cech has just come out and said he's going to be their sporting director next season.
And that's our goalkeeper.
We conceded 4. We conceded 4 that game. Yo, it's tough because I actually really respect Petr Cech as like a Premier League legend.
Yeah.
But I will detest.
I think he's got the most Premier League clean sheets.
He does. He has phenomenal records, man. He's still playing sports at top level today.
Yeah.
But I will detest always seeing Petr Cech in an Arsenal shirt, man.
Yeah. Anytime Premier League years or highlights or whatever, and Cech is there in an Arsenal game, he's gonna get beat at his near post. I'm watching it now.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the game.
You can see them.
I know it's coming.
Or the like how terrible he was with the ball at his feet. The Chelsea calamities.
Do you remember when he almost passed it into his own net?
Yeah.
Petr Cech was dark. It was dark. And yet again,
Diminishing returns.
Chelsea can laugh at us. Chelsea fans can. I think I checked it. I thought we got Petr Cech for free. We paid 15 million for him. We paid 15 million to take a 35-year-old Petr Cech.
Petr Cech he's got to be my worst Arsenal signing, actually, man. Like Petr Cech did nothing for us.
Yeah,
he did nothing. He set us back. He set us back 3 to 4 years with our goalkeeping.
I never thought a Chelsea signing would get worse than William Gallagher.
Yeah.
And then
Petr Cech was there.
Came. But look, Havertz and Jorginho saved us.
Yeah.
And soon to be
Raza.
Raheem the Dream, freshly baptized. Third place. And a bit of disparity now between 10-4 and these top three. These top three all pretty close in votes. Only 5 between them, 1 between third and second place. And in third place, we've got Kim Kallstrom.
Harsh, man.
Voted for by 5 people.
Harsh.
So only one person didn't vote for him. That was Michael. So Michael will be able to give his case. Obviously, he's saying it's harsh. And Matt had him first. And I do have to say, because Matt said this as his reasoning, Kim Kallstrom passed a Premier League team's medical, the most professional, the most elite
top flight football in this country.
Like physios. Kim Kallstrom passed his Arsenal medical with a broken back.
Yeah. But
couldn't play for 6 months.
What I'll say is 9 out of 10 Arsenal fans will always have Kim Kallstrom in their top 10 worst signings. And the logic is there behind it. How can you pass a medical with a broken back? He barely played.
He can be number one for that.
For that reason alone, 100%. But context matters. And I feel like we have to look at who signed him. Arsene Wenger. Tell me, guys, in Arsene Wenger's 20-year career span at Arsenal Football Club, how many serious January signings did Arsene Wenger ever make? Arsene Wenger would get a body in January for the sake of getting a body in.
Yeah.
And that was Kim Kallstrom. Again, another guy.
But it wasn't, though. Because it wasn't a body, was it? We didn't even bring a body.
He scored his penalty.
Yeah,
he needed to do,
and that's the thing. Kallstrom had one thing to do, and he did it. Right, so he's number 10 on my list. But I have absolutely no
one. When we signed Kallstrom, no one ever said, "Oh, he needs to come in and play X amount of minutes and do this and this in the team." We were just like, "Who?"
We thought Kallstrom was going to come and start.
No.
At the time,
we didn't.
We thought
we didn't.
We needed the holding midfield.
We needed a midfielder. We needed a body in midfield
for a decade. We needed a holding midfielder.
yeah.
Kallstrom was coming. We thought it was going to be it. I have absolutely no qualms with Matt putting him first.
I have no issues with people putting him. I just said it's harsh. I think it's harsh because we had no expectation for Kim Kallstrom. Zero. The fact that he passed with a broken back, a medical with a broken back, is why he should be on the list, but he can't be first. Because
why did we need to sign him?
Arsene, that was the era when you were just on the books, balancing the books. Send a guy out loan there, get a guy in here.
I'd actually hear it if it was for a body.
Scratch my back.
Arsene, Dennis Suarez was a body. But Dennis Suarez was actually fit to play, but just couldn't get in the team.
I am sure Arsene Wenger had like quid pro quo agreements with small clubs from Sweden and and like, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You give me this guy for a couple mil, I'll give you this 18-year-old. Go have a good loan or wherever it was. There's no other reason for Arsenal to go out there and Kim Kallstrom, by the way, was like damn near a deadline day signing.
Yeah,
we just got him over the line.
Yeah, but he just never should have passed that medical.
He shouldn't.
That
but he wouldn't have
never
scored that
should
penalty.
have been sanctioned, and it was a great penalty. I saw it the other day.
Yeah, so did I.
And that was in a semi-final. We needed to win a trophy, so fair play, but I understand. And look, everyone else had him. So
I hear it. 9 out of 10 Arsenal fans will always have him.
yeah. And they 5 out of 6 to be precise. But the top two, these two voted for by everyone now. Unanimously.
Yeah.
Agreement. And this guy in second place, I didn't originally have in my top 10. But then I took a step back. I took my bias hat off. And I thought, I'm just doing this to prove a point.
Yeah.
And I don't need to.
Exactly.
I can just be honest about
exactly.
it. Right? We know he's better than Sancho.
He is.
So I don't need to keep him off this list for those reasons.
Proven.
Nicolas Pepe. Obviously, like I said, voted by everyone. He was first by Sam and Amor Sembi. And for me, I had Pepe 9th. You had Pepe 7th, so fairly similar. Nick had Pepe 10th.
He has to be on the list, but he's a flop. I was going to say he's only a flop. He is a flop for the simple reason he's our most expensive signing. Well, it was our most expensive signing.
I think if we'd signed Nicolas Pepe for
35, 40 mil.
40 million, I don't think he makes this list.
He's done his job.
10 Premier League goals.
Yeah. Couple good seasons, couple good performances, FA Cups.
But that's what we're crying for from some of our players now.
It's kind of like how we've just breezed over Jorginho. Like, yeah, he was a bad signing for us, but we only spent 25.
He was better than Jorginho.
He was, but we only spent 25, 30 mil on Jorginho, so there's no reason to kill him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because we've only spent X amount of money on him.
Yeah.
You know, like the thing about Pepe was the summer the summer before we were speaking about the whole Czech situation thing. We were saying now, like that whole summer, I remember telling you, all I want is Zaha. I don't care if we don't make another signing. All I want is Zaha.
Yeah.
And then
I was saying that.
I accepted Pepe when the bombers came out and it was Pepe 72 mil and the comps and Lille. I was like,
installments.
I was like, I'm all for this.
Yeah.
But if you go and you spend Arsenal Football Club, who've notoriously under Arsene Wenger and these other guys never spent money.
Yeah.
If you go out and you slap 72 million on a guy, he can't be a dud. And Pepe
and Emery wanted Zaha.
Exactly.
Emery actually wanted Zaha.
Exactly. The brown envelopes.
Yeah.
The analytical guys.
And the thing is,
the numbers, man.
Pepe, when you see some of his Arsenal highlights and some of what he did at Arsenal,
it's called jinky.
Pepe was a very talented footballer.
I remember we were always saying this, that like Pepe can shake his man.
Yeah.
Can lose his man, can put a ball in the box. But his decision making, I'm not gonna lie, at times.
I'm Saka's biggest fan, Saka's biggest advocate, but I'd probably go as far as to say Pepe was naturally kind of more talented. Some of the things Pepe would do.
Turn a guy inside out,
go past players
you would fall for his body feint. But
it was just never. I don't think he ever had the attitude.
Yeah, mentally consistent. He was never mentally consistent. He was never performance consistent.
You know the way we were talking off air about if Rashford came to Arsenal and he might come and after 2-3 days he might be like, yo, it's like this every day. This is kind of intense.
That's what
that was Pepe.
And the worst thing about it was Arteta, I think, had sent him out on loan or wherever it was, and he'd come back. Maybe he was coming back from an injury. He was really trying to get him into the fold. Pepe tried to simplify his job. All right wingers, you need to do this. You need to track back. When you're given the ball in the final third of the pitch, that's up to you. Yeah. Beat your man, but these 3/4 of the pitch, I need you to stand here at the touchline, hold the width. When their winger has the ball, I need you to tuck in. Yeah. And Pepe just couldn't do that stuff consistently.
Because Pepe was also a kind of player that he just wanted to get on the ball.
Yeah, if they had an attacking fullback, it was a long day for us. Because Pepe would switch off at them. He wouldn't mark the run all the way.
And I have to mention this, a lot of the stick Pepe gets, and a lot of Pepe was killed by Bellerin.
Yeah.
Because if you have a Ben White, a Tomiyasu, who you can leave 1v1 and they can kind of do their job, but
Pepe had to get back.
Pepe would leave his man. Bellerin would get rinsed so easily, and then it'd be, Pepe needs to track. Pepe needs to track. He was killed. Bellerin was terrible going forward. Wasn't helping Pepe out there. But purely for the price tag, he makes my list. I'm looking at this now, and Nick actually had Kiwior above Pepe as a worst signing for Arsenal.
Pepe, it's just the 72 million. We were big boys at the time.
And the way it ended.
Yeah.
Similar sort of thing. Loan.
Can't
get him out.
No one wants him.
I think we eventually went for free after
Yeah.
a 72 million outlay. Like the financials of it, where Sancho made the Man United one because Sancho has been appalling on the pitch.
Yeah.
Pepe's made this list, and the Man United one was a bit different because I remember the Man United top 10 cost like over 50 million per player. It was like over 500 million or something. Whereas Pepe's on this list purely for the financials, because like I said at the start, more than half of it's from one player. And obviously that is Nicolas Pepe. What he actually did on the pitch was actually all right.
It wasn't as bad as the way people would lead you to believe. He did nothing for us. Like he turned up every week and stunk it up every week. That is not true.
That trophy that Arteta's got, Pepe was a large
big part of that. He's a big part of that. There were weeks where Pepe was on it. And there were weeks when he was available, and there's that season where he got 10 Premier League goals, but you could tell that almost broke Arteta. Like getting Pepe, getting Arteta and Emery, getting Pepe to get to that 10. Yeah. Because you see what Arteta does when he gets his wingers. Stand here, do this, you'll get 10 goals. If you do these, if you make these runs, you'll get 10.
And I know Pepe doesn't want to play like that.
You could, Arteta was laying out the cones for him, real simple.
Yeah.
Go from this cone to this cone to this cone, and the ball will find you in the box.
Yeah.
And Pepe just wouldn't make the run.
Yeah.
In real game time, in practice, I know he does it.
If the ball was on the left-hand side for 10 minutes, Pepe's drifting over.
Exactly.
And give me the ball.
And Arteta's telling him, and then when the ball finally whizzes across, Arteta's, where are you? I told you. And Pepe's like, sorry.
And he's not being bailed out by Bellerin.
Is that what you meant when you said to stand at the back post?
Should have been watching the tape.
Yeah.
But look, that's second place. So, first place now. Again, unanimously voted by everyone. And the interesting thing, no one actually had this guy first. But he's first overall on our list. And Nick had him the highest. Nick had him second. Michael had him third. I had him fourth. You should know, if you're an Arsenal fan, Shkodran Mustafi. Our overall worst Arsenal transfer of the Emirates era, voted for by 6 different Arsenal fans, all have their different opinions. Unanimously.
Mustafi should make every Arsenal fans list.
Yep. If you are 60,000 Arsenal fans, he's in every one of those lists.
100%.
And
it's even worse because it started off well.
Yeah, the 22-game unbeaten run.
Started off well. World Cup winner. Decent fee.
Do you remember the transfer window? We could have got Mustafi for 25.
Yeah. Then it went up.
We didn't buy him. We were like, no, we're not paying that. Went back on deadline day and paid 40. So now we've got this guy for an extra 15 million, and it looked good.
I think
it looked good.
I can't really put my finger on why, like, of all the reasons why I hate Mustafi the most, but I think for me it details down to Mustafi's ability to put his past mistake behind him. Like in training, you know, Mustafi would do the back on top, and he would do the
back on. Me and Nick still laugh about that. That back on top thing, was.
I think that's my most annoying thing about Mustafi is
we'd lose at Bournemouth Monday in training, back on top.
Mustafi has clearly forgotten about the Bournemouth game. Monday training session, he's put that behind him. All of us are still reeling from
Mustafi's got that video of Mustafi in a do-rag. That's after we've lost the game.
So this 100%. Is my point. This is my point. Is Mustafi was living the life, playing for a top 4 club, playing for a big club and feeling like a big club player, costing us every week, dragging us to our lowest depths forever, but constantly had an ability to almost make it seem as if it's not my fault. It's not this bad because of me.
Like I'm doing all right.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I might have had that one mistake once, but I put that behind me and I'm back on top.
Yeah.
I'm back in training. I'm working hard. Yeah. And then next week he does the exact same bullshit.
Yeah. And the overarching point there, is he was just an unserious guy. Like in when you're trying to build a culture of winning and trying to change the environment and stuff, Mustafi's just a clown, a joke man in the dressing room.
It annoys me. Like I don't know if he knows how much he's hated by Arsenal fans. I know on some level he must.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but how much? I don't think
he could comprehend. Like he was moving around as if like, yeah, man, it's just a really unfortunate period that we find ourselves in. And the mistakes, man, the Aguero one, like the mistakes that Mustafi was making. Oh my
The Zaha one
gosh.
is one of the worst.
Oh my gosh.
We talk about centre backs, yeah, and like as a base level, I would say Mustafi's better than Pablo Mari. Yeah,
yeah.
which isn't hard because Pablo Mari was horrendous, but Mustafi made more mistakes.
His mistakes per 90 minutes.
Glaringly obvious mistakes.
Goal leading to errors. Sorry, mistakes leading to errors.
Not under 100. No pressure. Unforced.
Yeah.
You know, they've got forced errors, unforced errors. Mustafi's got time. He just needs to play it. The Bozo gene, Mustafi almost invented that.
Yeah. If we conceded a soft goal, it was Mustafi. He was there.
And he wasn't helped with any of his partners.
Yeah, of course.
Partners, but
it's kind of like the Socrates thing is like, and I guess maybe it's tough because we're looking at our football like through the eyes of football today. But what style of football are you playing with Mustafi as your centre back? Are you playing a high line? Are you building up from the back? Are you aggressive running into challenges? Like what style of game are you adopting?
Mustafi's ability to get ripped. Yeah. Like you say, Mustafi was just under 6 foot, maybe just touching 6 foot.
Studs on 6 foot.
What are you trying to do with Mustafi? Emery was trying to play out.
Do you want him in possession? Yeah.
Whoever it was trying to.
He can't do the high line.
Play on the halfway line. He can't do that,
bro. Aguero, who's not even the quickest. He's no slouch. But he's not even the quickest.
Too many North London derbies, and to be fair, he did score in one.
Yeah,
but too many North London derbies, Harry Kane dunked on him.
Yeah,
too many.
But everybody could get theirs on Mustafi. Yeah, 100%, and everybody 100%. Knew it. And then Mustafi would come out after the game, just be like, "Oh yeah, it's tough, but back on top where we go again."
Callum Wilson, when he was at Bournemouth, it was just anyone could just ragdoll.
Yeah. He's sliding to the corner flag
floor and score. And Mustafi, those glaring errors,
he ended up being on like big wages. They were saying he was on 80 to 100k.
Yeah. Mustafi was bad one. But look, man, thank God we are where we are.
Legit, man. I kind of, I just want to, yeah.
But this has been a nostalgic episode. But so I'll read off the top 10. In 10th place, we had Almunia. 9th place, Bellerin. 8th place, Guilachi. 7th place, Park Ju-young. 6th place, Willian. 5th place, Denis Suarez. 4th place, Petr Cech. 3rd place, Kim Kallstrom. 2nd place, Nicola Pepe. And in 1st place, the worst Arsenal transfer has been voted as Shkodran Mustafi.
At him, let him know. Get him in the comments.
Put back on top in the comments. And let us know that you enjoyed this episode. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. Let us know what you think. Let us know if there's a player you missed. Some guys might have thought Aubameyang should maybe be in it. For us, never a chance. But some people, rival fans, because obviously this is only Arsenal fans.
You let us know who we missed. Off the 27 man squad.
Any rival fans think that there's someone we missed, let us know. If you think that someone else should be first, if you think we're too harsh on Petr Cech or Hector Bellerin, let us know. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next week. Peace.